That's it? That's all the applause I'm going to get? There we go. It sounds a lot better. Good, perfect. Well, good morning, everyone. I am Jordan Pollack, the CEO and co-founder of Sub-Q Bionics. And let me start by telling you a little bit about myself. I'm actually a biomedical engineer by training. I studied at the University of Michigan, a bachelor's and master's degree. I then worked at Boston Scientific, where I developed drug-eluting balloons and stents for the treatment of peripheral arterial disease. After moving to Israel about 7 years ago, which was a personal dream of mine, I then started a company called Veinway. We had a device for crossing chronic blockages in veins. We ended up raising $3.5 million to 8 clinical cases, and we're in the process of now selling the intellectual property. From there, I moved on to Sub-Q Bionics, which is based on intellectual property that we've licensed from the Weizmann Institute that allows us to treat lymphedema effectively. Now, first of all, what is lymphedema? Imagine, I'm sure you all know someone who's had breast cancer, you may have gone through it yourself, or other types of cancers. It's traumatic in and of itself to be told you have cancer, but then, you know what, you'll get through it, you'll figure it out, everything will be fine. You ring the bell at the end, a week after, your arm swells up to massive proportions. You go back to your oncologist says, too bad, just be thankful you're alive, get out of my office. Lymphedema is a chronic and progressive disease that is caused by the destruction of the lymph nodes from the treatments of those cancers, both mastectomies, radiation, chemo, and it's not rare. 65% of breast cancer survivors will end up with it. And it's not just the massive swelling that you see, they also lead to regular infections. They're handed compression sleeves that you have to wear 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is no other option. Or for those that are really lucky, there's a surgery called lymphovenous anastomosis, not covered by reimbursement in most places in the world, and is not a perfect chance of success. So it's for all of these things, and we look at all the external wearables and how they're told to maintain it. We said, that's not good enough. We need to come up with something that actually gives all women suffering from lymphedema the ability to thrive, not just survive, get back out there, get their freedom and mobility back. So we created what we call a bionic lymph node. It's an implant, microporous implant, goes under the skin. There's a pump also under the skin that runs every single day and pulls that fluid out and drains it into the peritoneum. It has an app that is connected to the cloud, takes all that data up, we can do analysis on it, and just so I can throw in the buzzword of AI, yes, it has AI. So far we've done animal studies in sheep. We took 2 willing volunteers and injected saline into them and then pulled fluid out very successfully. We've also done 1 clinical human case, and that was very successful as well, where we implanted the porous implant and was able to pull fluid out that way. Now, as everyone wants to know, right, we just saw the panel up here right before. It's not just about the product, it's about the regulatory, the revenue, the reimbursement model. Those are really key. Well, we are a Class 3 PMA, but that does come with a lot of advantages, actually. We can get our own coding, our own coverage from CMS, and we also are a potential candidate for FDA Breakthrough Device Designation, which gives us NTAP pass-through payments, allows us to get paid right up front. For one $12,000 implant, we can prevent infections, prevent going to the ER, and we have these patients for life, so every couple of years when we need to do replacements, we continue to upgrade the device and get them with us the whole way. Now, $3.2 billion TAM, honestly, I think this is too small. I calculated this by looking at the number of lymphovenous anastomosis surgeries that are done every year. But honestly, in the US, for example, 10 million patients, only 2,000 of these surgeries. There are 9,998,000 other patients that we need to get to. So the numbers are much larger than this. And when you look at the competition, take, for example, what I call fancy compression, Koya, Elastomed. I mean, they're just wearing these big, giant, I don't know if you've ever seen these, giant space boots. I mean, that's not enough. There is a company called Lymphatic out there that also has an implantable pump, and they did do a first-in-human study, 9 patients over 8 weeks, successfully reduced limb volume, and showed without the patients needing to wear any external compression. So we're doing that, but better. Now, I introduced myself. My co-founder and CTO, Dave Knapp, was VP of R&D at Boston Scientific for 10 years, 24 years in total. My chairman, Tom Suda, used to run Cleveland Clinic Ventures. And we have a stacked scientific advisory board. plastic surgeons from around the world, vascular surgeons from around the world, as well as we have a patient advocacy board. We bring in patients every month and we listen to their stories and actually take their input on the device that we're developing. Now, of course, as a CEO, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about money, so here you go. We just raised a $1.1 million pre-seed round backed by the Weizmann Institute and a major hospital system in the United States, as well as a matching grant. And then we're moving on to a $3 million seed round, which is what I'm here fundraising. I encourage you all to come talk to me, help us get to our first in-human study of 10 to 15 patients so that we can then go on and get our exit later of 500 million, as many Class 3 devices are done. So as I wrap up, I just want to stress that patient compliance is not enough. We hear a lot about things that are trying to make patients have more compliance, but that's not it. Our device does it for them. You implant it, you set it, forget it in a quick procedure. So please come join me, talk to me in a way that we can help women get their freedom and mobility back after going through cancer. Thank you.